Yo guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who have subscribed, and if you're just coming across this page, this is Gana Joshua Dalami, the analyst. So do well to hit the like and subscribe button and turn on the notification so you'll be one of the first people who will get the gems I drop here. So on today's video is just an end of the week review of September 15th, 2025 to September 19th, 2025 on review on trading sessions we had over the week. So I dropped some of the videos. We did a pre-market analysis on what we were going to be looking out for on ZAUUSD as the week started. We did that. Price came to around our area of interest and played out as we had expected. So we took on some trades, and in this video, I just want to go over with it with you guys again so that you guys, the value you're going to be getting is okay, what did we see that made us took some trades? And so you can be aware of them and hop on them when next you see, because there's a video I dropped on teaching you guys how to use psychological levels as support and resistance, right? To identify support and resistance and buy at support and sell at resistance. So I'm going to be putting the video somewhere here on that video I did teaching on support and resistance. So as in continuation with that video, putting it into action in the live market, I want to show you guys how what we did, how what we spoke about played out and how it plays out in the real market live. So if you check my video, the market started around last week. We started around this level. So we marked here as our area of interest, this zone. So market was at about this level as of last week. If you check the video, you're going to be seeing it. So during the Sunday pre-market analysis, we marked here as our area of interest where we're expecting price from the open of the week to come and test around this level. And as you can see, price came to around that area of interest. It reacted nicely, and look at how it played out to an all-time high of where it stopped at a major resistance of 3,700, right? So let me drill down to the 15-minute time frame with you guys. So in total, I took about three trades. We shared it with the community. As you can see, let me show you guys. Um, let me show you guys. I'm going to be dropping the link to our Telegram community. So you guys are going to be, we share trade ideas there. So while it's loading, I'm going to come back to that. So yeah, this is it. This is our new community where we're going to be dropping. But before now, this is where we at, right? So yeah, every idea that you see in there, we dropped it here. We dropped the idea here, right? We dropped the idea. Look at it. Look at, this was the third trade of the, this was I think the third trade of the week. If you come around here, you will see, no, let's check here. Everything was dropped here. The signal was sent, how it played out. Look at the before, look at how it played out. Look at where we saw. Let me go from the beginning of the week on Monday. Yeah. So we did our pre-market analysis on Sunday where we were waiting for price to come at this level. This level we marked, as you can see, this zone that we marked as our buy zone. Let me zoom. You see, check out the price. Then if I go back, if I go back, this is the zone. This is the zone here, right? So this was where price was at. This was where price. So this guy, look at the idea, trade idea we shared. Look at how it played out, which is this guy. Quick 1 to 2 weeks reward. If you held, fine. If you ate, fine, right? So a little bit about this is the community. So I'm going to be dropping the link so you guys can join, where we share trade ideas. You got questions, you could reach out to us. directly and that. But that's all about the community. The value you're gonna be getting from this video is why did we buy? What was our thought process? What did we see on the chart that made us buy? Simply, if you look at my last video I did, I say buy at support, sell at resistance. And as you can see on this psychological level, which is 3637.52, you would see the reaction that price marked and exactly what was our trigger that made us buy at this zone. Let me mark the trigger that made us buy at that zone. Look at it here. This bullish engulfing candle around that same area was the trigger, was why what made me call out the signals, and a lot of people ate from this. Yeah, a lot of people ate from this. I did too. So first off, we started off with a 1 to 2 risk reward. So this was a resistance level. We hadn't gone here. So we bought at this support to this resistance, and you could see how it played out nicely, right? Same thing here. Why did we take this trade around this level? If you drill down to 15 minutes, sorry, that was even 1 hour. Let's go to 15-minute time frame. Uh-huh. This is how it will make sense. Can you see? Can you see price reaction around this half psychological level? This is 3625. I did all of that. Go and watch that video and see how we got arrived at these psychological levels. Our major psychological level is 3600. The next one is 3700, which is about here, 100 pips difference. But I told you guys, for you to be able to get your entries, you would just have to split it down, 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 down to how you could get entries, and we split it into factor of 25, we split it into factor of 50, and in between 50 and 25, the half of it, as you can see, is where this reaction happened, right? So you could see the half of 25 and 50 is a mini cycle level. You could see the half of it is where it is, and look at the reaction that happened. So in addition to that, you could see if we drill down to 55 minutes for us to get a very good deal. Some people, you have the two options to either wait for the close of this 15-minute candle if you want to be too sure, but it's something that we had already been anticipating. That was why. So you see 15-minute candle, well, it still works, but you are not going to get a whole lot of deal, especially before this played out. We were just targeting around this previous resistance that price was reacting to. And if you had wait for the 15-minute close, you get a one-to-one risk reward, which I don't think is a very good deal. But if you we got I called the shot immediately from 5 minutes time frame because we had already been anticipating this reaction around this zone. So once I saw this guy on my 5 minute time frame, that was what made us call the shot around this level, and our stop loss was just below here, and we targeted this previous resistance that price was failing to break, this previous resistance that price was failing to break. That was where we were targeting from this point that we got the entry, and you could see how it played out nicely. No drawdown, zero drawdown. But in addition to this, another thing that made us additional confidence that not just reactions around this zone, in harmony with the overall trend of the market. Remember, we started from our daily, we drew down to our 4 hour, we drew down to 1 hour, like that. Getting the overall trend of the market is why we put it. In addition to all this, another confluence that made us know that this was a buy was this guy. Look at the pattern forming around here. You could see, and this was a support level. It got broken, but price came and was still ranging around that same level again, right? And if you could see this pattern, you will see that it's an inverse head and shoulder pattern forming around there, right? And you see it, the zone price was reacting to inverse head and shoulder.
another confluence again around that same level that validated this buy order was this W pattern forming around that level, right? These are some of the confluence in addition to some of the fundamental things happening or why gold is buying as at when we did this analysis that made us know that, oh, this was a buy, right? So yeah, I hope this is clear. So let's move on to the next trade idea. We took our profit from around this level, right? So we waited for, and we saw our take profit was here, but we saw how price broke this resistance with force. And what do we do? Break and retest, like this is a support level. This was the resistance, but after it got broken, resistance turned support. What do we see around this level? This was the rationale behind this second entry. We took our profit here, but the market was moving, and if you go down to like 5 minute time frame, you would see that. Let's go back to our 5 minute time frame on why we took the second entry. One of the reasons that made us took second entry is price broke above this level, and look at the pattern that formed around this zone. It formed a mini W pattern, and this was the trigger that made us that confirmed this buy order around this level. We saw this pattern, this same pattern we saw around this same thing. So it's the same thing that keeps repeating itself over and over again. So your work is to identify those patterns, know which is one of the purpose of this video, so that whenever it is you see, they repeat themselves over and over again. Same thing, same kind of similar pattern we saw that push market up. So we saw it after a break. It broke this resistance turned support. So we saw this pattern around here. And if you go to your 15 minutes candle, let me take this guy out so that you guys can see. You will see this same, and let me mark it out for those of you. And you see this, can you see this same guy that we saw around this level? Look at this same guy, this same engulfing bullish engulfing pattern that made us enter this price. This same engulfing pattern we saw here, we saw it after the break of this uh, resistance level, and this was one of the things that made us buy at this point. Um, this is for the long. This was the rationale behind this entry. We bought here our stop loss below the what it did, and we targeted a quick 1 to 2 weeks reward. That's the minimum 1 to 2 weeks reward. We targeted at around this level. Can you see? So it's just the similar thing, which is one of the things you values you are getting from this video. It works across every uh, asset. Can you see how it played out? So 15 minutes was what confirmed the entry for us, and look how price played out nicely. Break and retest. It's just simple break and retest. This is another resistance again, and as you can see, price broke this level again. It broke this resistance. Look at what's happening around this same zone again. Can you see? Look at what's happening around this same zone. Look at what we saw. It broke retest, but at this point, the trading session for Monday was done. So on Tuesday morning, early in the hours in the morning, Asian session, I was up, right? And price was ranging us at around this level. So let's clean out this guy. So price broke around this level, and we saw that since price broke, it has just been ranging, and you could see this same pattern again around the support. It broke, and look at this same pattern again around this level, right? You could see price was failing to go below. And look at what made us look at the trigger as at when I just woke up and when I just saw this reaction. I shared it to the community as well. Once I saw it, can you see? Um, can you see? Let me identify. Look at this same guy again. Look at the same trigger that made us at on 3,675. So after the close of this 15-minute candle, these same guys that we've been seeing around here, which is a trigger around a support zone or a resistance level. This was what gave us the signal that, oh, this thing is still continuing to the upside, right? So after the close of this candle, we just bought here, we put our stop loss here, and we targeted to this resistance zone, 3,700. And as you can see immediately, so you could target here, but for me, I think is once you get to a resistance level, you target a little bit below it because sometimes and most times price doesn't really get to that level yet before it reverses, especially if it's a strong resistance. So that's why it's safe. You just target somewhere just below it, and you can see it's giving you a nice 1 to 2 weeks reward again. So you could see we put our stop loss below this uh, support level. It was a resistance before as of here, but it got violated, which made it turn a support. Simple and short, nothing complex, and we took profits around here. So in this place, something tricky happened, which I'm gonna be speaking about it so that you guys can learn. So that you guys can learn from one of the mistakes I made. If you hear me clearly, my motto is buy low, sell high, buy at support, sell at resistance. As simple as that, right? But on one of the accounts that we're managing, we made a mistake of not taking profits when price even got to here. But because of the strong bullish momentum we saw, we thought we thought price was going to break this guy easily. But unfortunately, the normal rule of selling at resistance, the normal rule of taking profit at resistance is undeniable, right? I'm going to be doing another video, so that this one is not long, on what happened around this place. We got a nice move up until this place, but one of the accounts are managing $50,000 prop account we're managing for a client. We when price just left our level, we broke even at this point. So we were risk free. So we wanted to swing the trade. So we were reading at about $1,500 profit as our gear. We were supposed to just take our profits, but what did we do? We just break even and wanted to swing it up until this next resistance level, which is 3,725. So don't assume things. Once it just gets to resistance, just take and wait and reposition. If you test that resistance that you broke, you hop on the buy, which is the safest recommendation. So you guys will learn from. I'm sharing this so that you guys can learn from that mistake and don't repeat it. Though on the small account we took some profits from this 3,700. The next major resistance was this guy, and this was where we were hoping. So will you say this is greed? We were targeting for what? You get, but we were risk free. That's the safest. We just wanted to explore, but turns out in our exploration, don't joke with any resistance. There's no resistance that is just resistance, right? So I'm gonna be doing a separate video on that. But for this particular video, what I want you guys to just take away is what we saw happen. So at this level, a whole lot of things. Market bias changed because this guy is a is a support. This guy is a resistance, right? And he came, he did, he broke. He tested, he was supposed to continue, but he failed at this point. This was the change of character. But at that point, it wasn't really obvious. This was when we changed direction. But it wasn't really obvious just yet. He came, he went. And you can see, look at this same head and shoulder pattern here around this resistance level was the signal that the bears are taking over. The bears are taking over. Look at this pattern forming around here. So it broke. First time price is breaking the lower high that it created. Created another one. It came and you can see how direction changed. So you see, so at this point that I marked, this was a manipulation that happened in the market because what look at this same guys we seeing here, it happened at around this resistance level. So we bought here and we took some loss. Though it wasn't an A plus setup because the buy was overbought. As you can see, it was near a resistance, right? So even though when we saw this same guy that we've been hopping on, that has been making us buy, we took some losses on this trade. Though I didn't share this because it wasn't a high probability setup, right? But I just took it, but it went haywire. Why? You could see these same guys that we've been seeing, we saw it, but it wasn't valid. He went, but it didn't go for long. Why? Because when he came, he rejected at this resistance level, right? So he came before we could break even, hit our stop loss. That was the first time that we knew that something is happening, something is happening. So when we took this L, we waited back and allowed price to show us where it was going, show us where it was going. So we didn't take any opportunity. Rather, price came back to the level and hit our break even on the account that we are managing, right? So that was it. And one of the mistake, I'm just going to do a separate video on the mistake concerning this particular trade on one of the accounts. We were in deep profit, but we can you see? Instead, we even added more position around here and we now break even. This one was a risk free and we took a long here after the close of this 15-minute confirmation that we got. We locked in this profit. That was what happened. We now hopped on another buy, hoping that price we get to the next resistance, which is 3,725. If we're even trying to be conservative, let's split this guy into two. Can you see? So highest point we're going to be targeting was going to be around this guy. Mhm. So for this entry, TP1 was going to be around here, which is around 1 to 3 weeks reward, right? TP2 is going to be around this price. TP2, and you see which we want to 6, but I don't aim for that because it's kind of like overly ambitious, which was what happened here. I just target my 1 to 3, 1 to 2, you eat, you wait at the position, simple and short. Buy low, sell high. Buy at support, sell at resistance. Sell at resistance, take your profit at support. I hope that makes sense and you guys got the value from this video. So this was Tuesday. So on Wednesday, on Thursday, price wasn't really clear to us because of the change. So we didn't hop on the sales because already we know that gold is always buying. So the Fed rate news that we're anticipating in my last video, I spoke about it. The Fed rate news, which was happening on Thursday, was why all this happened, right? I've looked at the reaction. Let me check. Let me show you guys the reaction of the news. Look at what happened in the news. So we stayed off the market. We didn't trade on Wednesday when the news was there because we don't trade news, right? Look at the reaction that happened. Can you see anybody that hopped on this trade, except for the few ones got hot because it went down, came up. So on this trade, we didn't hop. We didn't even hop on the sales. We were just observing and looking from the sidelines from Tuesday after making mistakes and taking our L's around here. We just wait and we're just observing from the sidelines and looking at what price was doing right. So price was doing so market just opened. This is a new week that I'm doing this video. We're going to be doing pre-market analysis for this new week that we're getting into, which is 22nd September 2025 up until that week on a separate video. But take this and on Friday we took another trade after all this move here. Price came back to that same level that it broke from Tuesday, from the beginning of the week, as a result of effect of the news Fed rate cuts that happened on Wednesday. So after all this whole reaction, I was just observing. So at this point, I saw this pattern again, this our pattern, this W pattern around this same psychological level. So we saw this reaction. Can you see? It broke to this side. It did the same pattern again. Can you see? Can you see that pattern? The blue pattern on my chart is getting messy. Let me delete some things so you guys can have a clear view. Let me delete some things, right? So see what happened. After all this was just a mini retracement level. It doesn't mean that it's a downtrend because if we look at it from the overall time frame, gold is bullish. From a bigger time frame, gold is on an uptrend, right? So that was one of the reasons why we didn't even bother to sell anything. We were just looking for it to get a very good price and buy because the trend is always your friend. We are not trying to go against the trend. So this was a mini uh, retracement from the push to the upside. So as you can see, this pattern that we saw around here could give us this our entry. And to if we drill down to around 15 minutes, we would see that same guy, our same guy that makes us buy. So this is a 3,650 psychological level. So I've just been observing, and as you could see, price started a new pattern again from around this at about this psych level. So price came first time, it couldn't break this guy. It formed and first time is breaking. So we started the higher high, higher low, higher high, and it came for a third touch. And on that same third touch, it came, and which is hence the reason for this buy that you guys are seeing here. So and you see, so if you draw your trend line from here, which was this, you would see. So let me take this out. So look at what made us buy at around this level. This is 3,650 psychological level, and price broke above it. And when it came, look at the same guy again. Reaction around. This was the previous. This is a resistance turn support. So when I mark, look at the trigger again. Can you see our same trigger, which was the rationale for the entry? And if I drill down to that around 5 minutes, you will see. Look at that. So can you see? So look at what gave us our entry. If we go to look at this particular guy, this particular 5 minutes close, particular bullish engulfing was what made us buy. Can you see after the close of this guy, this particular engulfing here, we bought and we just had a little bit retracement. Our stop loss was here below this low. Price came like it wanted to touch and it gave us, this was the confirmation. And if we go up, you would see how price reacted nicely. And from this point, we just knew that the bulls have taken over the market. And you see, and on 15 minutes, we're still having the same thing again, the same trigger. And that was what gave us our rationale. For this one, we just bought at 3,650 and aimed for somewhere just below 3,675, which gave us around 1 to almost 4 risk reward ratio. And we are good. And price is still continuing to the upside. This is a new week. I'm just gonna end this video and do a new week pre-market analysis so that we'll have an overview for this new week that we are coming into. uh, uh, Gold is going to, and we'll be able to hop on that. This is the M15 retracement level from this point up until this point, but it's no longer valid. So if you didn't get the entry here, for those that got what late entries, let me delete this guy. This is a resistance. It came, it couldn't break. It came, it couldn't break. What do you do? For those that didn't have entries here, or for those who wanted to add another entry, look at another resistance. It got broken, and if you drill down to like around 5 minutes, you'll get your entry around there. But the best price is here, but for those who didn't get entry, look at another trigger at around that level that would have given you your entry. This guy here, can you see this same trigger at this support, at this resistance term support? Can you see? And you would have gotten a quick um position after the close of this 5 minute candle. The stop loss just below this low here, you would have targeted for at least, you would have gotten a nice 1 to 6, 1 to 1 5 3 at around this level, because if you want to do 1 to 2, it wouldn't be safe for you. Why? Because you buy at support and sell at resistance. So the safe place for you to go TP1, you're going to be aiming for here, somewhere around here. So you see the importance of getting buying low, because you that got your late entries here and you that got your entries here is not the same thing. Can you guys see? So that's it. That's some of the rationale why we bought. Can you see? And if we could go, the direction of the market has obviously changed because this mini retracement has been broken. And right now, what we're going to be looking for is the retracement of this guy up until we mutual resistance will before breaking up until this guy. This is what we're going to be looking at for the new week. So we're going to wait for price to retrace to the very strong support before we could think of buying. But for now, we're just going to allow everything to play out. So I hope this video was worth your time. You got value from it. And the point of this was just to share my thought process on how we got this easily. So this is how we do it, back to back to back to back, making money and making money for our believers. So you could just join our community so that you get informed ahead of time. You see it, WJFS community. I'm going to be dropping the link to the channel somewhere in the description. Just check it out. You will see. Once you hear, you can reach out to us, and we are here and open for you at all as always to put you through because the market is big. We believe that the market is big for everyone to eat, and we don't hold our ideas. So I do share my ideas for free across all my socials with the hope that what I know is going to help someone out there struggling to get entries or to know when to buy, when to sell, and that's my only two way of adding value back to humanity because I don't need to. I'm already making money from this. We have clients, we managing their account, a whole lot of accounts under management, right? So, but I still take out time to uh, do this. It's something I want to do more. I want to add as much value as I can.
And that's a wrap on this one, guys. I hope you got value from watching my process on what I look out for, how my thought process is before I execute any positions. And that's how it is across any assets, across gold, across crypto, across indices, anything, it works. Simply refer to my video if you don't know how to identify support and resistance. Is in some of my previous videos. You see it somewhere here or part of the timeline of the video. And if there's anything you need clarified, let me know in the comment section. If there's any concept that's not clear to you, let me know in the comment section, and I'll be dropping the links to our Telegram community, like I said, where you could reach out to me if you want to video call me, if you want to call me and get anything clear. I'm always active and available and ready to serve you in any way and capacity I can, because yeah, so do well to hit the like and subscribe button and share to your friends or anyone you know this is gonna be valuable to. For now, I remain Gana Joshua Dadlami, and until then, see you on the next video. Peace out.